Okay, so the tusks, I have one of them kind of cleanly cut out. In order to clean the other one up beyond what's the blue, I can use my lasso and select around. If I think I can get smooth enough with that. And if I'm worried that it's not smooth enough, I can use my refine edge to help expand from what I select and to smooth. And that helps as well. So that refine edge is very helpful, though it does take a little bit of time to process. And because these are organic materials, it's okay if they change shape a little bit. I wandered into the tusk a little bit there. I want to smooth it out using refine edge. And then I can hit delete a few times to let the feathering kind of bite away at it. Now the colors don't match yet. These tusks are very yellow. They're from a natural history museum. Internal lighting. Add on to my selection here. Take care of it all at once. And I haven't recolored or done levels or hue saturation or color balance on any of my references so far. And it's really because I'm just not sure yet what kind of ultimate coloring I want to go with. So I'm just trying to get more of these pieces in place. Okay, so now I've got those tusks, but now I want to sink them into that anatomy a little bit better. Seems like tucked up there makes more sense. And then if I actually take their opacity down a little bit, I can now use my eraser at 100% opacity, but a little bit sharper, about 80% hardness, and a little bit smaller, because it's a little targeted, using my tablet. And I want to reveal some of these whiskers that are overlapping it. Let's take it back up to 100%. So that I can have those whiskers overlapping. And now I can take it down to a softer edge and a less opacity and blend it a little bit better. So instead of erasing that, I think I'm going to burn it. A little bit more shadow here using the burn tool before I go into erasing. So I can get these whiskers over the top. Not mismatched in lighting so much. There's a lot of different techniques that are useful. Okay. Now I wanted to do sea kelp. What I found instead that works, maybe will even work better, are these sea dragons. Just because they're more matched in silhouette, though very different colors. And you want to avoid copying and pasting the same element if you can. So I'm going to bring one in. It's about the right size I want, as these things kind of dangling beneath. Go ahead and place it, and then I'm just, because this was done in black, I have my magic wand. I'm going to push the tolerance up a bit to 32, the default, and have contiguous turned on, but then there's going to be a lot of undercuts. So I hold down Shift, and I have to add these little areas in, of which there are a lot, unfortunately. But the reason I want contiguous turned on is because I don't want the inside where it's dark, like the eye and stuff, to get, or the dark parts of the leaf, to get left out. So I'm going to take this down to 12. There we go. Up, and back up to 32. So you keep adjusting your magic wand settings for whatever the task is. And of course, being able to add to your selections with Shift or delete from them with Option, very, very helpful. And then I don't want that little part at all, so I'm just going to change to the lasso and hold down Option to delete this selection. Or actually hold down Shift and add it in, since I'm selecting the negative space. Then to help clean it all up, I'm going to refine the edge, let it bite in just a little bit, say OK. Now remember, this is a smart layer, so I can't delete from it. But what I can do is then say select inverse. So now it's selecting everything that's not that black on the outside. And then duplicate, Command J. And then turn off my smart layer. And there I have a nicely cut out element to use. Looks like it left a little bit outside. Square frames. Let me get rid of that. Now, because this is organic, it should work really well to flip it, to stretch it, to rotate it. To be these kind of long tendrils, to warp it. I can push it behind the tusks. Maybe even behind the mustache. But we'll get there. So that's one side. Now the trick is, how do I do it on the other side? Well, I want to take this other one, do something with that. Huge amount of reference. Don't need it that big. But same thing. Select all the space around. Select all these internal shapes. Holding down Shift. It's okay if little bits get cut off. But I don't want these black dots to have to deal with later. Holding down Shift, adding to my selection. Okay, now let's add this in as well. There we go. Refine edge. It's just to get a better cutout. Okay. There's a lot of debris. I'll be able to get rid of that easily because it's not touching what I actually want. And then select inverse. So it's all this stuff now, and then duplicate. Turn off the background and use my lasso tool and get all the stuff that's just floating around it. Now I take that element, I'm going to flip this horizontally and rotate it. Let this dangle from the other side. And I like to use my mouse along with my stylus sometimes for some of these warping tasks. Just seems to help. I take my eraser up to 100%. Soft edge. Start soothing them together. All right, next. So now more structural things. All that stuff is like head stuff. There's a lot of head stuff going on with mine. Now we just have the legs, it's hippo legs.